All right, let's just jump right into an idea that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie. Imagine this. One person builds a company from scratch and scales it all the way to $1 billion valuation, completely on their own. But come on, is that really possible? Or is it just a wild fantasy? Could a single person truly build $1 billion empire in the world we live in today? Well, before you make up your mind, you have to hear who said this. That quote comes from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the company that gave us ChatGPT. He's the one who put this idea on the map. He's convinced we are right on the edge of seeing a solo founder hit that incredible milestone. And that is exactly what we're going to unpack today. To really get your head around how huge of a deal this is, we've got to look at how things used to be, because we are talking about the rise of the one-person billionaire. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? In the old days, building an empire meant hiring an army of people. I mean, look at General Motors, over 600,000 employees. Even modern tech giants like Google's parent Alphabet or Meta have hundreds of thousands of people on payroll. The new model? It just completely flips that on its head. The future is all about the solo founder, a team of one. So what's the secret sauce? What's the game-changing tech that makes any of this even remotely possible? Well, it all boils down to one simple, powerful concept: the AI force multiplier. And the key word here is leverage, right? It's just the idea of using a tool to get a massive result from a tiny bit of effort. And let's be real. In this day and age, AI is hands down the most powerful form of leverage we have ever seen. But look, this didn't just pop up overnight. The reality is, this is just a supercharged acceleration of a trend that's been going on for years, smaller and smaller teams pulling off bigger and bigger things. And if you want the perfect example, just think about WhatsApp. When Facebook bought them, the price tag was an absolutely staggering $19 billion. Okay, now for the crazy part. How many people did it take to build all that value? Just 55. 55 people. So you have to ask yourself, if a tiny team of 55 could do that years ago, what could one person do today with the kind of AI we have now? It shows you history has been pointing this way all along. Teams get smaller, impact gets bigger, and AI is just the final step, shrinking that team all the way down to one. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. How on earth does one person actually run an entire company? This is what we're calling the solo founder's playbook. You see, a solo founder can now run all 4 core parts of a business, not by doing all the work themselves, but by acting as the general of their own personal AI army. We can break it down into 4 key areas: product development, marketing, sales and service, and operations. First step, actually building the thing. Just picture it. You describe your app idea, in plain English, to an AI. And it doesn't just spit out code. No, it helps you design the user interface, it figures out the best way to structure the database, and it hunts down bugs for you. An idea you have on Monday could be a working app by Friday. It's incredible. All right, next, you have to tell people about your cool new product. So you ask ChatGPT for a dozen different marketing ideas. You pick your favorite, then you tell Midjourney to create a whole suite of amazing visuals for it. Then you just hand the whole package over to Google's AI to run your ad campaigns. It's like having an entire creative agency that works 24/7 just for you. And what about your customers? Look, we're not talking about those old, clunky chatbots that never helped anyone. We're talking about an AI that knows a customer's history, figures out what they need before they even ask, and gives them genuinely helpful support, day or night. It can even spot a chance to make a sale and offer a personalized discount to seal the deal. It's your best salesperson, cloned for every single customer. And finally, all the back-end stuff. Payments get handled automatically by something like Stripe. But now, an AI can look at that data and warn you about a potential cash flow problem 3 months from now. It can model out what would happen if you changed your prices. The founder's job completely changes. You stop being a clerk buried in spreadsheets and you become a commander making the big strategic decisions. So when you put all that together, the entire playbook, you start to realize this isn't just a new way to launch a business. No. This is a whole new reality for how business is done. And check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting for freelancers. The source material calls it a double-edged sword. On one hand, the opportunity is massive. One person can now do the work of a small agency. But the flip side, the challenge, is that companies might not need to hire as many full-time people when they can just use AI or bring in a super-powered freelancer for a specific job. this basically rewrites the definition of a startup. That old model of raising tons of money just to hire a huge team, that's starting to look kind of obsolete. In this new world, being small, being lean, and being incredibly fast is the real advantage. The big takeaway is that the rules of the game are changing. Value is no longer about how many people you employ. It's about how fast and how smart you are. So, all of this leads to the most important question of all, right? How do you get ready for this? How do you become a builder in this new world? Let's talk about your turn to build. And really, it's not so much about a checklist of things to do. It's about a complete mindset shift. 5 big ideas here. Number 1, and this is so important, you have to start seeing AI as your co-founder, not just another tool. It's your creative partner. 2, focus on the skills that AI can't touch, your unique vision, your creativity, your empathy. 3rd, you have to become a relentless lifelong learner because these tools are going to change every few months. 4th, start small, but think big. That little side project you're working on, it could have global scale now. And finally, maybe the most important mindset of all, you just have to be brave enough to start. I think this quote just nails it. It captures the sheer scale of what's happening. The internet turned regular people into content creators who could build massive audiences. Well, AI is doing the same thing, but it's turning people into company creators, able to build entire businesses all by themselves. And that leaves us with one final, very provocative thought. The question is no longer if a one-person billion-dollar company is possible. The real question is, who's going to be the first to do it? The tools are here. The opportunity is real.